Hello everyone, this is Mr. Informal back with a new and latest and greatest edition of the Mr. Informal podcast. Again, I go by the name of Mr. Informal. I hope you are doing well today and I hope you are healthy and certainly I hope you are enjoying life. Yes, you have to enjoy life, especially these days. Please, let's not forget to add me on Instagram MISTERINFORMAL, and then check out my website, mrinformal.com, MRINFORMAL.com. So, what do we have for the podcast edition 187? Well, we have 4 topics. Number 1, outdoor brands boycott a trade show. Number 2, Levi's president quits. Yes, you heard me. Number 3, Wal-mart is dropping all mask for employees. Yes, that means employees will not need to wear mask. Number 4, Starbucks is raising up their price. Yes, you heard me. I mean, millions and millions of people will get affected by this. I don't go to Starbucks much, but when I do, I'll definitely feel it. And so it's going to be interesting. And so those are the 4 topics for this Mr. Informal podcast 187. And so let's go ahead and start the podcast. So for the first topic from retail.com, Patagonia REI public lands threaten to boycott outdoor retailer trade show. A group of major outdoor retailers, including Timberland, Patagonia, REI, and the North Face, and Public Lands, are threatening to boycott the outdoor retailer trade show if it's moved to Utah, according to release they put out by the Conservative Alliance. The reason why is here are the reasons why. The retailers said they would not support or attend a trade show event in Utah so long as its elected officials continue attacks on national monuments and public lands protection, adding that Utah leads the fight against designated national monuments and public lands. The outdoor retail trade show worth $45 million was moved out of Utah in 2017 in objection to the state rollback of national monument designation for Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante, and has since been held in Denver. Gee, I wonder why. In Denver, outdoor retail said in a statement it has not made a decision around the location of the trade show. So there you have it, folks. So here we have. So the protection of Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante in Utah has been focus point for major retailers for years, with Patagonia in 2017 replacing its homage with a black screen that declared, "The president stole your land," when President Trump reduced the size of national monuments. The protection has been since restored under President Biden, but the Conservative Alliance on Monday said elected officials in Utah are once again moving to strip these magnificent lands of federal protection, and asserted they wouldn't attend a trade show in Utah for as long as the state continues its assault on public lands. So, Utah's government, Spencer Cox, released a video bid last year for the trade show to return to Salt Lake City, where it has been hosted for 20 years. Colorado leaders, meanwhile, have been pushed for the show to remain in Denver, with Governor Jared Polis and Senator Michael Bennet and John Hickenlooper, wow, that's quite a name, calling it a natural home for the trade show in a release on Monday. So all this comes down to is just politics. That's all it comes down to, politics. And we're talking about national monuments here, right? We're looking like, I guess, not statues. We're talking about the land itself. Maybe Grand Canyon is definitely a national monument. Certainly the Devil's Peak or something like that. I forgot where it is. Yosemite is a national monument. All the redwoods, right? So I'm trying to question all these brands when it comes to national monuments. So that's what it's talking about, right? If that is the case, well, look at Denver. A lot more people are moving over there. The lands are being reduced. More people are settling in. We got uh, companies building houses. Suddenly, the lands is being reduced. So I'm trying to understand what they mean by the reduction of land. I mean, there's not a lot of people who live in Utah. I mean, I'm trying to understand, if you really want conservatism, why not fight it in California? Oh wait, they don't want to fight it. They don't want to fight California because they know they get in trouble. We all know Patagonia is here. Well, some of their headquarters is here. Let's be honest. I mean, if you look at Texas, a lot of drilling over there for oil. I mean, we're talking about lands here, right? We're talking about the environment. So why aren't we discussing about those other states? Why are we discussing about Utah? Is it a trade show? Because of the trade show? Now that President Biden is in here, for some reason, they want to focus on local governments. I mean, they couldn't do that earlier. They had to blame Trump. They couldn't just blame the whole state of Utah. They have to blame, they have to name the president, the previous president. It's really confusing that these brands just want to blame on Trump. And then now that Trump is gone, now they want to blame the local officials when they could have done that a long time ago. It's a lot of, picky, choosing your side. That's all it is. Luckily, I don't have a lot of products from them. It's all right. But again, a lot of these so-called activism is not really 100% activism. They just want to pick and choose what they want to, fight for. So here is an interesting article, article from retail.com titled "Levi's brand chief quits over activism against pandemic restriction." Jennifer Say, who rose to Levi's president less than 18 months ago after more than 20-year career there. Wow, 20 years. Quit the storied denim maker Monday following disagreements over her pandemic-related activism, she said in a Substack guest post. She was offered $1 million of severance package, but refused it in order to speak out about her departure. Good for her, okay? Say also maintained that Levi CEO Chip Bergh at the dinner meeting last fall told her that she was on track to become the next CEO. That she would have to stop talking about the school thing. Whoa, that's a lot of bribe. That's bribery. Isn't that bribery and blackmail? Levi's didn't comment on the specific of her post, but confirmed by email that she resigned. Chief Commercial Officer Seth Ellison has taken over Say's responsibility on an interim basis as Levi searches for her replacement, company said. Well, here are the reasons why. Early on in the pandemic, I publicly questioned whether schools had to be shut down, she wrote on Monday. This didn't seem at all controversial to me. I felt, and still do, that the draconian policies would cause the most harm to those least at risk, and the burden would fall heaviest on the disadvantaged kids in public school who need the safety and routine of schools the most. Wow, that's interesting. So, going down, Say isn't alone in her frustration with school policies. However, after the strict lockdown period in 2020, public health officials and educators struggled still on how to balance protection against the viruses and the importance of in-person learning. Well then, I was offered $1 million severance package, but I knew I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement about why I've been pushed out. Well, certainly, it's very obvious Levi's lives in California, and you all know how California gets down with the CDC. There's somehow a bunch of puppets. That's all it is. So, why am I not surprised she's speaking out against it? Good for her that she's not accepting her severance packages just to go at these types of people, because these types of people seems like, they're basically they have no idea what they're saying. Wow, Levi's. And she was on track to be CEO, but she had to stop that if she wanted to become CEO. Well, See, I'm not surprised by this. As you know, Levi's main headquarters is in San Francisco. And it's pretty sad that we're actually going through this. People are usually separated during Thanksgiving about politics, and now people are just every day separated because of the vaccination and even schools. I mean, what can I say? So, this is what she says. So she's basically, uh, she's decided to move to California so that her children could attend school in person because San Francisco Public School has decided to keep the virtual learning. So in any case, look, in terms of brand itself and just how the brand perception, Levi's is going to be okay. But in terms of the HR and also press alone, it's going to be bad because it's leaking. It's letting the people know that Levi's has a internal problem. Not only that, this is bad because since she's a woman and she's on track to actually becoming the president of a probably the one of the most famous fashion brand in the world, it's a big deal. I mean, she's been there for 20 years and she was on track to be there. And as you can tell, she actually wants to stay true of her activism. She didn't even accept the $1 million severance. I'm pretty sure she already made $1 million just by working in Levi's for more than 22 years, whatever it may be. But look, if this is what she wants to believe, but the thing is, I don't know why she wants to move to Colorado. I mean, wouldn't it be better to move to Las Vegas? And maybe Arizona? Or maybe she wanted to be with nature. I mean, yeah, Colorado could be the place to be if you want snow, summer, fall, winter, all seasons, just like how San Francisco gets it, except they don't get snow in that city, they get it in the mountain. But good for her for at least standing up for what she believes in terms of the educational system in these pandemic times. On to the third topic from retaildive.com, titled Walmart, Amazon nix mask policies for vaccinated employees. Walmart will no longer require vaccinated employees to wear masks while working in Walmart Sam's Club facilities, except where required by state or local rules. The company still requires unvaccinated workers to mask. An interim memo from Donna Morris John Wig, Walmart Chief People Officer and Chief Medical Officer respectively. The company also set an expiration date of March 31 for its emergency COVID-19 leave policy. Amazon took similar moves according to internal communication to employees. The e-commerce company said that vaccinated employees in the U.S. have the option to work without masks were permitted by local regulations. Amazon is also requiring vaccination to receive COVID-19 leave, coronavirus leave. So, this is going to be interesting. The cases of the Omicron is going down. Here's the problem, okay? And I'm really hope I am wrong about this. Number one, fine. They want to not have vaccinated employees without masks, or they have the option to. All unvaccinated must wear masks, right? Okay, so depending on the state, what if you don't need to wear masks to go indoors, right? What if these vaccinated employees also gets infected? What are they gonna say? Oh, it's because the customers are not vaccinated. Or is it because our unvaccinated employees? No one really knows the numbers here. I don't understand why there's still a separation of people who are unvaccinated and people who are vaccinated when it comes to retailers or when it comes to grocery shopping and even mall shopping. I don't get it. You either not wear masks, you either have the employees not wear masks, or you do. It's that simple. I mean, because the reason is that the amount of people or the amount of customers compared to the amount of employees is low. Is high. So you have more customer coming in than you have employees working. And guess what? The employees who are working gets exposed, even if they are vaccinated. And even if you tell me, oh, the Omicron is pretty weak, if you get hit, it's not going to be hard as before. It doesn't matter. You still get infected. So it is just confusing. So in another paragraph it says, in this memo to employees, Walmart made no provision for local case count, but rather only for local rules. So wow, okay. Morris and Wig did know, though vaccinated associates are no longer to require masks in our facility. We support and respect an individual choice to continue wearing one. The mask mandate still applies to those employees in clinical care settings, including Walmart pharmacies and health clinics. So again, it's picking and choosing. It's a bit confusing here, but in any case, yeah. So I mean, if you work for Walmart or Amazon, if you're vaccinated, you have the option to wear or not wear a mask. And yet, I guess depending on the department, you have to or not. So here is something that everybody will get affected by. From Supply Chain Diet. Starbucks accelerate price increase to offset Omicron-related cost. Starbucks is accelerating price increase to mitigate rising supply chain disruption, cost pressures, executives said in Q1 earnings call. The coffee chain raised prices in January 1 and plans additional hikes this year to help offset the trends of some of the cost pressure that we're seeing, said John Culver, Group President, North American COO. Starbucks faced an increase in coronavirus isolation pay and higher costs in onboarding new hires. Labor constraint among third-party delivery providers also pushed the coffee chain to the pricey spot market. The company expects supply chain disruption to continue for foreseeable future. CEO Kevin Johnson. Not only that, I'm not sure if you know, but there's also a supply issue with coffee beans or just coffee worldwide. So the distribution, the supply of coffee beans, and also its logistic and transportation is also choking a lot of coffee retailers, and it just happens to be one of them is Starbucks. So the company is also focusing on increasing productivity and reducing complexity throughout its network to meet high demand with limited staffing. Inflationary pressure rise. We have and will continue to take intentional steps to offset these pressure, including selectively accelerating price increases. Well, look, I'm not a Starbucks customer. There's times when I do order Starbucks just because it's just convenient. It's just there. It's just coffee. I do like Blue Bottle, but it's just there. But I do know a lot of people are obsessed with Starbucks, and this is going to hit them. Imagine if Starbucks just increased the price of, let's say, by $1. That is a huge difference. Imagine, let's just say you pay Starbucks for medium coffee, blondie, latte for $4, right? Imagine if it was adding another $1, $5. Let's say you bought it every day. Business days. It's 5 times 5, right? $25. Let's say you bought it 3 times a week, $15. That makes a huge difference when it comes to budgeting. But certainly, everyone is going to get affected. Look, it's not just Starbucks, it's also other brands too. But the one thing that this article doesn't bring is that Starbucks made a lot of money last year. They also made a lot of money in 2020, even though a lot of their stores closed down, but there were deliveries that was happening. Everyone was obsessed with Starbucks. Come on. Starbucks was also making money on selling their own coffee beans. It's not even that hard, but I'm sure Starbucks also got the the loan that the government gave. I'm sure they also applied for that too. So I'm mad at these brands that they're raising up price like everywhere. They always talk about, oh, because of the supply chain issue. What, like that's been happening since last year and you're only thinking about it now? Even if you were thinking about it a month ago, I can't believe you were thinking about it a month ago. But look, I'm not a Starbucks fan. No, if you are, well, I feel sorry for you. And so that concludes this Mr. Informal Podcast 187. Hopefully you listened to me from beginning to end, and if you did, I do appreciate it. Hopefully I give you some insights too, made you learn something today. And certainly, please do not forget to add me on Instagram, MISTER INFORMAL. And then check out my website, mrinformal.com, MRINFORMAL.com. And so, this basically concludes this Mr. Informal Podcast 187. You be safe, you be healthy, and please enjoy life. I will see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.